On Primetime News tonight.
A suspended police officer stages a sit-in opposite the Galle police station.
The wife of Chinese politician Bo Xilai receives a suspended death sentence for the murder of a British businessman.
Thousands pack the streets of Tokyo to felicitate the Japanese Olympic athletes as the city eyes 2020.
I am Ramesh Rugal Bandara.
And I'm Sonali Vanikabaduge.
The news starts now. A very good evening and welcome to Primetime News here on MTV Sports.
We start off with a look at tonight's headlines.
University teachers refraining from A-level paper marking warn that university entrance could be compromised. Opposition leader calls for a select committee to investigate the Department of Examinations. Stomach organs of the three individuals found dead at a house in Valavatta sent to the government analysts.
On to the news in detail. The Federation of University Teachers Association has warned that as a result of university teachers refraining from marking advanced level examination answer scripts, the credibility of the examination, which is the university entrance examination, is at stake. The university teachers who have been carrying out a trade union action over the past few days state that they will refrain from marking advanced level answer scripts.
The GCE Advanced Level is the entrance examination which selects the brightest Sri Lankan students for university entrance. As such, the marking of advanced level answer scripts is done under the supervision of university teachers.
By now,
the officials must have memorized our demands. Immediate steps should be taken to resolve the issues faced by university staff. Advanced level answer scripts cannot be marked by anyone. If this happens, they will have to face a bigger crisis than the Z-score crisis. We need to say that they should bear total responsibility for this. Why can't ordinary teachers mark advanced level answer scripts without the supervision of university teachers? Universities do not hold separate entrance examinations. This is because university teachers are directly involved in the marking of A-level answer scripts. However, if they deviate from this practice, then the credibility of the university entrance examination will be compromised. It is clear that they have not considered the grave implications of this and are acting in an irresponsible manner. If any issue arises during the marking of answer scripts, the lecturers or professors who are on duty provide us with immediate answers. They have the required knowledge to handle such issues. So how can we mark the answer scripts without them? Are the teachers supposed to find solutions when issues crop up? Grave issues with regard to the quality and credibility can arise if the marking of answer scripts is done without the involvement of university teachers. The teachers cannot shoulder this responsibility, so teachers will also have to withdraw from this. 277,671 candidates are sitting for the examination this time around under both the old and new syllabuses.
අපිට බයක් හිතෙනවා විභාගයෙන් පස්සේ අපිට මොකක්ද වෙයිද කියලා. අපි ගොඩක් අමාරු ඉගෙන ගන්නේ විශ්වවිද්‍යාල ගුරුවරුන්ගේ ගැටලු අපිට ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. නමුත් අපිට අපි වෙච්ච මහන්සියට සාධාරණ ප්‍රතිඵල ලැබෙනවා. එච්චර අපිට අවශ්‍යයි.
The issue regarding the marking of answer scripts has arisen in a backdrop where the 2011 advanced level graduates are still awaiting university entrance. They are unable to enter universities due to an issue with regard to the Z-scores. Teacher associations point out that resolving the issues faced by university teachers is the only way through which officials can ensure that this year's advanced level examination does not turn out to be another fiasco. The issues faced by university teachers should be resolved and steps should be taken to involve them in this process. If they are attempting to do this using only the teachers, then the credibility of the examination will be destroyed. One should act in a far-sighted manner. The Ministry of Higher Education is one of the most important ministries in any country. FUTA will take a strong stand this time around. Meanwhile, during an intellectual discussion that was held today, retired Commissioner of Examinations LMRB Amarakon stated that many of the issues faced by the Examinations Department can be addressed through the appointment of an advisory committee.
විභාග දෙපාර්තමේන්තුව දුවන්නේ 1968 අංක
The Examinations Department functions under Act number 25 of 1968. There are several traditions at the department that have come about since its inception in 1951. Sometimes the current officials may not be aware of these traditions, or they might be just ignoring them. If they respect these traditions, I believe that many of the problems that they face can be overcome. Under Clause 20 of the Act, the Minister has been vested with the responsibility to issue direct orders. Minister Badiruddin Mohammed issued an order using this Act to appoint an advisory committee to the Department of Examinations. I used the services of this committee when I was the Commissioner, but this is no longer the practice. Meanwhile, a discussion was held today on the problems that have cropped up in the education sector and the solutions that should be provided to these problems.
A group including politicians, university lecturers and civil activists participated in the discussion. University admission should be granted to the students who were victimized by the ZSCO issue. The government should inform us about the method it is going to follow in this regard. Merely saying that it is committed to this will not do. A parliamentary select committee has been proposed to look into the conduct of the Department of Examinations. The government should agree to it.
යෝජනා කරන ආණ්ඩුවයකට එකඟ වෙන්න තියෙනවා.
ඇමතිවරුනුත් හිතුවක්කාරයි, රජ්ජුරුවොත් හිතුවක්කාරයි.
Both the ministers and the king are stubborn. The problem faced by the children is a problem regarding our future. Therefore, I think common action should be taken as a solution to this problem. Doesn't the country need intellectuals? Doesn't the country need educated individuals? Should the universities remain closed and should not the children sit for the A-level examination? The government should answer these questions.
A-level පන්තියේ විභාග ලියන්න ඕනේ නැද්ද ළමයි?
When standardization was introduced in the mid-70s, that suddenly stopped the flow of students to tertiary educational institutions, to universities, particularly from the north. It was in England, these students who couldn't enter universities in Sri Lanka, they were the ones who started the first few armed movements. When youth education is affected, that can lead to disastrous consequences. So we must learn our lessons, at least from a very recent history in our country.
Meanwhile, United National Party parliamentarian Harin Fernando states that the Minister of Education, who is responsible for the crisis in the education sector, should resign.
Today we can see very clearly that the education sector has collapsed. Although we have seen this situation worsen, there is no sign of recovery. Lecturers, teachers, students and parents are all calling for Minister Bandula Gunawardana's resignation. But the Minister of Education is deaf to all these calls and is instead coming up with various formulas while disregarding the problem. So we are calling on Minister Bandula Gunawardana to resign immediately.
වෙන ප්‍රශ්න ගහලා විහිළුවක් කරලා මේකෙන් බේරී යන්න හදනවා. ඉතින් මේ වෙලාවේදී අපි ඉල්ලා සිටින්නේ බන්දුල ගුණවර්ධන ඇමතිවරයාට. මේ හැම ශේෂ්ත්‍රයකම කරන ඉල්ලීම අනුව බන්දුල ගුණවර්ධන ඇමතිතුමා මේ වෙලාවේදී ඉල්ලා සිටිය යුතුයි කියන එක තමයි අපි ඉල්ලා සිටින්නේ.
A meeting was held today to obtain input from private entrepreneurs for the 2013 budget. The meeting was presided over by President Mahinda Rajapaksa. Private sector representatives from the plantation, agriculture, apparel, gem and jewellery, spices, cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, livestock and other sectors participated at the meeting. The Presidential Media Unit stated that discussions were held on strengthening local entrepreneurs and expanding market share both locally and internationally.
The digestive organs obtained from the 3 bodies that were discovered inside a house down Ramakrishna Road in Velavata have been sent to the government analyst. The police media unit said that the cause of death could be determined only after the government analyst submits his report. The 3 victims were the mother, father and daughter of the same family.
The Velavata police, while submitting evidence on the discovery of the bodies to the Colombo Magistrates Court today, said that they needed to obtain a statement from the son.
As his whereabouts are unknown, court ordered the Immigration and Immigration Department to prevent him from leaving the country. The police also informed court that the victim's son had attempted to change his name on the marriage certificate a few days ago and that he had given the marriage certificate to a relative for this purpose. The three bodies had been discovered when the relative arrived at the victim's residence to return the altered certificate. Furthermore, court granted permission for the police to obtain information on the telephone conversations of the son. Court also granted permission for the bodies to be released to the victim's relatives for the final rites to be performed and for the bodies to be buried at the Kohuwala public burial ground. The bodies were handed over to the relatives this morning following the post-mortem.
There was a bike parked at this location. The person on this bike came towards us, sir, and stabbed him. Parliamentarian Iran Vikramaratne says that the Securities and Exchange Commission should be brought under the ambit of Parliament if it is to protect its independence. He adds that in the past 9 months, 2 chairmen have tendered their resignations due to this institution being unable to act independently.
The former chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Tilak Karunaratne, who handed in his resignation last Friday, told News First that he had to resign as investigations had been launched into the activities of a small group of investors and brokers who manipulate the market.
The SEC must be made independent. We started down this slippery road when we abolished the 17th Amendment to the Constitution. If the SEC is to be independent, we need to change the laws, we need to basically bring it under Parliament. Parliament should appoint the commissioners. Parliament should basically make expenditures on behalf of independent commissions and they must report to Parliament. We have also been asking for a Parliamentary Select Committee basically to expose what wrongdoing has happened on the Colombo Stock Exchange over a period of time.
And up next is newspaper cartoon of the day. Welcome back.
On to more local news now. Heads of UNP groups at several local government institutions state that they crossed over to the government ranks in order to serve the UNP faithful, as it had become clear to them that victory could not be hoped for under the present UNP leadership. They point out that the current UNP working committee only serves the needs of the party leader.
Today the UNP has no direction. A committee was appointed under Srinath Pereira to make inquiries into who attacked Sirikota. In the end, that committee did not pursue those who attacked Sirikota, but instead decided that the 1-year tenure of the party leader must be extended to 6 years. These decisions lack direction. There is a village tale about the patient who never dies and the bed which never becomes free. This is a perfect metaphor for what the UNP faithful have to undergo today. In 95, under Ranil Wickremesinghe, I made a huge commitment to the party at the presidential elections. But now it has become clear to us that Ranil Wickremesinghe is making pointless appointments to the working committee. He is appointing people who have no voter base to the working committee, and his leadership is weakening on a daily basis. As long as Ranil Wickremesinghe is at the helm, there is no future for the UNP. There is no voter base to make the party victorious. The second tier can come forward and establish a government in this country the day that the leader and general secretary are evicted from the party. Meanwhile, the United Bhikkhu Front expressed these views on the opposition at a media briefing today. There are endless issues in the government. In order to point out these issues and keep the government in line, a strong opposition is a necessity. Since the opposition has abdicated its responsibility, the government is acting according to its whims and fancies.